Okay, Lynn, the next question comes from a leading Democratic senator who did manage to get reelected. And he says, Lynn, coming in the days leading up to the election, we were well aware of the fact that the Democrats would lose the majority in the House, and right now we're just somewhat thankful that we managed to hold on to the U.S. Senate. And certainly there has been a lot of discussion about the fact that the period between the election and the swearing in of the new Congress is an absolutely critical one for our nation. It's an interval when many things can get done, and it's also an interval when the tone must be set. As I think you know, Washington right now is gripped by austerity mania. And we knew this, and we were more or less prepared to deal with it, at least some of us were, by going for the jugular of Wall Street and the banks. Now, here's the problem. My original question to you was going to be a question concerning the order of battle, as to what you thought this lame duck Congress should fight to ensure in the days that we have left. And my question was, on the one hand, broad, but on the other hand, very specific. As I think you know, while I and many other members of the Senate agree with Glass-Steagall, we unfortunately failed to get an adequate hearing for it in the last Senate. It's still alive. We can certainly take it up, but I had questions as to whether we needed to, because as I think you know, there are enough loopholes in the Dodd-Frank bill that if we wanted to implement it to its extreme, it would essentially serve as Glass-Steagall, and perhaps we could put our energies elsewhere. But all of that has now been somewhat put into question, because in the days since I last talked with your representative, we've been informed by the GOP leadership that they have plans of their own for the lame duck session, and that they have no intention of waiting for January to get down to their agenda. And this has to do with two very specific threats that have been made. One is, as I think everyone knows, one of the principal tasks that the Congress is going to face when it comes back to Washington is the passage of a continuing resolution to keep the government going. And the Republicans have made very clear that they intend to shut down the government unless the continuing resolution has already built into it major cuts of a whole variety of programs, including Social Security, Medicare, and various other social programs that we absolutely cannot cut in the midst of a depression. What they are saying is no cuts, no votes, we'll filibuster. The other issue that has come up with similar threats is the question of unemployment. As I think you know, 2 weeks before Christmas, extended benefits run out for approximately 2 million Americans who right now are long-term unemployed. And we've been told by the Republicans that there will be no extension of unemployment benefits unless it's coupled with approximately $5 billion in cuts that would go into effect immediately. That if the Democrats fail to respond to this, then again, they'll filibuster. So we're now faced with something of a different situation. And I wanted to make sure that you were aware of it, but also any advice that you have on how to approach this situation would be most welcome.
The American people are still there. And they're very angry. Now, if suppose suppose that the Congress, the Republicans of the Congress, decide to do a filibuster to prevent any remedy on this expiration of unemployment insurance. What do you do with that? Suppose they do that. You take it to the American people. You take it there. Say, these sons of bitches have said this. These sons of bitches have done this. These sons of bitches are threatening this. Take it to the American people. There's your constituency. Your constituency is not the members of the Congress. Your constituency is the American citizen. An American citizen which has had it up to here with these recent sessions of the past 10 years of government. They've had it up to here. You're going to have a mood, and you'll find that the constituency of members of Congress still have the power to influence the members of Congress. Look, you're staging a fight, but you're not going to win without staging a fight. You've got to have the guts to stage the fight with the intention to win it. You've got to let these guys know who's boss. The American people are the boss between themselves and the president. The first move you have to do is get this guy impeached. By the method, huh? If you shrink from that, if you say we want this guy out because of the bad things he's done to the population, on his bills, his health care bill, and so forth and so on, you are showing the public what the Congress heretofore has refused to do with this president. So you've got to go back and do what you should have done beforehand. And use this against him. Attack him on this. So you go for the removal of the president from office. If you don't go for that as the step which must be taken first, no other step you would try will work. I laid it out very carefully on this. I went through this very carefully. You must first remove this president from the presidency. Until you do that, you can accomplish nothing on any issue. That's your problem. Until Nero dies or retires, you're not going to be able to do anything. You cannot let your cowardice on one issue be an excuse for your failure to face another. If you do not remove this president from office on legitimate grounds of his insanity, then you are responsible for everything bad that happens to this country and its people. And you personally are responsible. Maybe for a reason of cowardice. Fine, cowardice is a good excuse, I suppose. But it's cowardice nonetheless. Do you want that? Do you want that record? Do you want that image? The image of the coward? The coward who betrayed his country when they could have acted? There's nothing you can do now without causing the removal of this president from office now. He's insane. He must be removed. We have the amendment. The amendment means what it says. It's very carefully crafted. It's very accurate. The evidence is conclusive. Implement it. Enforce the law. Get him out of there. Otherwise, everything else will be a failure.